Hello, guys, and welcome home. I hope you had a great rest of your week. And ooh, that sound right? I don't know. Listen, I hope your week was good, and I'm glad you're here. And we're gonna have a good time, so you can have a good rest of your weekend. Okay, I'm sending you off into the weekend with good energy. That's my intention here. Um, so what do we have? I mean, fashion, we have fun, and my wardrobe, my closet. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Um, and now, are we having this conversation as like roommate, as housemates together, or are you just like a random guest in my place right now? Um, if you want a room, if you want to put down some roots, then feel free to subscribe. Get yourself a room, okay? Like Mary Poppins bag, I am never running out of space here. Unlimited, okay? Infinity. My Instagram, my TikTok, you don't get a room there, but there's other good stuff. I promise. I promise. At Hannah's House underscore for my Instagram, and then at Hannah's House, just regular, no underscore for my TikTok. Yeah, let's start. So we're here to talk about my style, my personal style, um, because I didn't have one until I started working on this video, and now I feel like I kind of have one, but there's still some ways to go. But just in that process, it was hard. Like, that's all I have to say. Like, I just realized that I don't know. I just thought it was gonna be like easier because I kind of like obviously I'm coming from a background in fashion and I know a lot about it, so I was like I overestimated myself. So that's part of why I'm doing this as well, just because I don't know if anyone else is kind of like feeling similar in the sense that they want to make changes to their style, but they just don't know where to start. So I'm making a sort of a guide, as you will, as we go through this together. And yeah, I kind of already talked about it in my podcast. If you didn't watch, which I recommend, there's some good stuff in there. Um, but just the whole idea about like fashion not being left out of the conversation when we talk about you kind of growing into the person and into the life that you want to have. Um, just because like fashion, clothing, your style, I think is very much tied to your self identity, right? I found with a lot of the questions I was asking, it was kind of hard to answer, or it would have been hard to answer if I hadn't already taken the time to like figure out who I say who I was. It sounds so dramatic, but just like I had to do a lot of work to kind of build up my sense of self and a sense of identity. So when I was kind of asking myself questions to figure out my personal style, I was kind of like realizing like had I tried to ask myself these in the past, and maybe that's why I've struggled so much in the past to kind of have a style for myself, is because like I didn't have a strong sense of identity. Um, yeah, you know, we are human minds, but we are also human bodies, and how we dress those bodies, I think, can be a lot more important than I feel like it's given credit for. Um, yeah, and that's not to say that everyone has to be doing like the whole Instagram baddie thing or anything like that. I just mean that dressing in a way that feels comfortable to you and it makes you feel like secure and confident in yourself. I think it's an important thing, no matter what that style looks like for you. And that's why style is important, in my humble opinion. And also, there is a difference between like style and trends, right? Like, style is a personal thing. There is no like, you can't be outdated or like not trendy. Style is personal. It's whatever you like and whatever you feel like a bad bitch in. And sometimes, yeah, that can coincide with trends, but they are something that I feel like maybe should outlast a trend, right? Um, yeah. So now that we know what style is, it's a personal thing. It's up for you to decide what you like and what you don't like. How do you figure that out? Step one, guys, we're investigating. We are investigating and questioning. There's a lot out there. There is so much out there with clothes, and I felt very overwhelmed because I just tried to, like, I was on Pinterest just like looking at outfits, and I was just like, now what? Because there was just so much that I liked that I didn't know how to really kind of discern what was actually for me, if that makes sense. I'm the type of person where it's like, if I like it, then I'm like, oh yeah, then I should wear it. But that's not always the case. I had to learn that just because you like it doesn't mean you need to wear it. So that's what I mean, like, when I say like kind of investigating to find out what you really like. Sure, you can like a lot of stuff and admire it, but that doesn't mean that it's your personal style. So the whole point of asking the questions is to give you like a guideline so that when you're trying to like shop for yourself or make outfits, you can kind of say yes or no. Narrow it down, makes it easier, less overwhelming is the intention. So investigating, like, really look at your old wardrobe, right? Really pull apart what you have and be specific. What clothing items are you drawn to? What do you actually like in your current wardrobe? And what about it do you like? Do you like the sleeves on it? Is there a pattern? Do you like the lines within the garment? Is it something with like princess seams? Do you like how it falls on you? Do you like how you feel in the garment? And if you hate everything in your closet, then still why? Do you hate how those pants fit you? Do you hate the color? Do you hate the cut? Right? We're figuring out what is a yes and what is a no. So if you look at all your shirts and you realize that all the ones that you like have a flared sleeve, that's something that you like. And now when you go into the store and you see all those shirts, it might not feel as overwhelming because you know that I am just looking for the ones with flared sleeves, right? It narrows it down. Even when you go shopping, ask yourself, what are you gravitating towards? And this is where it can be a good time to like call in a friend as well, just because it can be hard to break that habit of gravitating towards what you normally do, right? So having a friend there to just kind of encourage you, or even tell them, hey, pick out anything you think I would look nice in, and just don't mind me if I try to say, oh, maybe that's too much. No, just ignore me, force me to go on, try that shit on in the change room and come out, because you never know what you could like that you maybe would have never tried on before. And that's another thing as well, is like kind of be willing to try stuff on and play around with clothing. Even if you can think to yourself, oh, there's no way I would like it. You don't know till you see it on yourself, right? Even like using description words, how would you describe your style, right? Do you want to be someone who's described as like, well put together, someone who's minimal, or someone who's kind of, someone who has like a bold and colorful style, colorful, why is that word so hard to say? Colorful style, right? Now that you have description words, when you go into stores, you're going to be looking for things that fit that description, or trying to put together outfits that fit that description. If you're looking, if you want to be someone who's described as like, I don't know, cottagecore, right? Then maybe you don't need that tailored 1980s jacket. I don't know, but like, you know, maybe you're going to be more one to layer your skirts on top of each other to give that like forest maiden look. So that is something that can guide you when you're trying to put together an outfit. Yeah. So I will tell you what I kind of ended up with. One thing I realized about myself is I feel like that's another question as well. How does clothing fit into your life, right? And by the way, all these questions, like half of these were just kind of some I thought of on my own, and some of them I just got from Google because I was looking at articles of like what other people were doing. But like, for me, when I was asking myself how did clothing fit into my life, I realized that it can be like a very big kind of point of stress for myself. Aside from the fact that I realized I need to be the person who had their clothes set up the night before, I don't want to put thought into my clothing. You know, that whole kind of idea that the brain only has capacity for a certain amount of choices in a day. I don't want one of my choices to be going to what I'm wearing, but at the end of the day, I also want to look like I walked off a magazine cover every day, because I like that. I feel confident like that, right? So that was like, realizing that really made me realize like you need to find a way to have clothes where you can like mix and match very easy. Like, I want to be able to close my eyes, pick through my closet, and have an outfit every time, right? So that means I really need to start looking at what makes an outfit cohesive to me, what makes it come together for me, so I can start looking at pieces that are going to kind of have that, so that I can end up with a cohesive unit. And there's a lot of ways to go about that, right? Like, maybe it'd be sticking with the same color scheme or being more open to bold color combinations, right? I'm the type of person where I love colors, so I'm fine to go with more bold colors. But I'm not a huge patterns person because sometimes patterns can be hard to work with. So I'm a little bit pickier on that side, right? So I'm maybe going to be someone who's going to stick with more solid colors just because I don't care. I'll put a bright pink with a freaking bright orange, right? But at the end of the day, I feel like just the fact that it's a solid color on a solid color is going to be part of what makes it cohesive for me. But I still don't want to be boring, right? Because at least to me, a bright color combination is still not enough. So I'm going to gravitate towards more funky accessories, right? Because it's easy to kind of pick up a pair of earrings or a pair of sunglasses on my way out the door. Or clothes that have more interesting like cuts and silhouettes, right? Because sure, it could just be a plain orange skirt, but maybe my shirt has like more interesting like sleeve or cutouts, something like that. Yeah. So that was kind of something that I was like, okay, we want something that is going to be simple but still has something like interesting about it. And we're gonna get to the pictures, so don't worry. But also through going through my wardrobe, I realized that I love a good pair of shoes. That's also another way to really add something to an outfit. You can have jeans and a t-shirt, but if you have the right jewelry and a nice pair of shoes, that's gonna elevate the outfit a lot, right? So that's what I mean when I say simple, but I still wanna look like I low effort, but I look high maintenance. That's what I'm going for because I enjoy it. So for me, that's going to mean good quality basics, having a nice, good quality t-shirt, good quality pairs of pants that are, maybe some on the more like neutral tone side or more colorful side, a good mix of both. But so that way I can kind of create a base layer and add on very easily. I want to be comfortable. I don't want anything pinching, pulling. I'm over anything high-waisted at this point. Like I am just trying to be comfortable. So that's another thing as well when I'm trying on clothes. Doesn't matter how nice it looks if I can't feel comfortable in it, Earrings as well. I have an enormous earring collection that I do not make good enough use of. I realize I love square necklines. Looking at some of the clothes I've had, what am I saying? Yeah, I love a good collar as well. I'm looking at my own notes. I should know this off the top of my head, but anyways, I also love texture. That's another easy way where it's like, sure, it could be solid color, but the second it's a bit fuzzy, it's interesting. It adds something a little more to the outfit, and it's still going to be easy to pair a solid colored fluffy shirt with any pair of pants, right? And I do love a tailored look. I feel like tailored and vintage just because I'm obsessed with like the 1930s like tailoring. We're gonna get there. Yeah. So kind of once I like went through my old wardrobe and realized that like that was kind of the things that I was looking for and trying to achieve, that's when I went back to Pinterest and I was then able to kind of really pick out, okay, this actually fits and this doesn't. If I'm going for this look, then you know what? These pants actually don't fit with that. Yeah. So get out there, try stuff on with your guidelines, and also like see how you can work with the wardrobe you have now. So what are my guidelines? I'm gonna tell you guys. I don't know if you even want to hear it, but so like I said, I want to be looking like a baddie in the easiest way possible. So I really started to play around with like silhouettes and line, right? Silhouette is the outermost outline of the garment. So that like all of that is silhouette. And then line more has to do with the lines that are being made inside the garment to like dissect it. So these princess lines, that's going to count as line because it's dividing up the garment on the inside. But this here, that's going to be the silhouette of it. The outfits themselves, some of them I do like, but we're not focused on the outfit because not all of that is necessarily like the style I'm going for, but the lines, no, actually, sorry, these are my examples of silhouette. The silhouettes that these outfits are creating, that's what I like. So that's why I kind of showed at the bottom as well. I drew out the silhouette that I liked. That's bold. That's dramatic. And I can create that with any like plain shirt, see the one example, she's wearing all black. All black is always going to be an easy thing to put together, but it still looks very visually interesting because of the silhouette that it's creating. So that's what I mean when I say, like, I am trying to create high fashion while being able to close my eyes. And then these are some more examples. Again, not necessarily the outfits themselves, but the lines that they're creating, the silhouettes. I'll show you some examples of line. I don't know why I'm like trying to interchange the words when I literally 2 seconds ago defined that they are different things. I'm dead. Listen, it's hot in my room. The sun is beating down in here and I'm so happy about it, but I am sweating. Yeah. So now when I go into a store, I'm gonna look at a piece of clothing and I'm gonna say to myself, like, just by the shape, what is it doing? Do I like it? Do I not like it? So that's gonna be part of my criteria when I'm shopping, or even when I'm trying to put together an outfit. It's gonna make it a lot easier. So line, these are some good examples of line. There's a lot going on in the garment. With the pants, it's literally just a simple stripe down. So yes, color is contributing to the line, but even just that addition as well. It's not a lot, but visually it does do a lot. With the color blocking in the jacket, another way to create line. With the lines like the followings on like the little bustier kind of cup shirt, I love it. It's not that crazy, but it does a lot. These are some more examples of line. That, just creating that like inner side oval piece, and then with the detail going on in the collar as well. I love it. Same with the one beside it, with that chest opening, but then still you have those triangles on the side. I can't tell. I don't think it's like a full cutout, like skin. I think it's actually just a much lighter like fabric within that triangle. And then we have the one beside it where she's wearing like the off the shoulder shirt, and then we have like the crisscross as well. And then even the one inside, right? Just having that open shirt. That billowing, I love a good open billowing collar. That's, I'm looking, if I see someone walking down the street, I'm gonna say, what is drawing my eye? And then to pair with like the pleated pants as well. A lot of line going on there, but also still a very simple outfit. And some more examples. So these are kind of more crazy examples of line, but I love that because if I have a basic pair of like trousers, like pleated trousers, I could put half of these shirts with that and have an outfit. So yeah. And then, as I said before, texture. Again, any of these shirts, pick them up, put them on some basic pants if I wanted. Or I could go for a more crazier pants, but the point is, my eyes are closed, and it's together. With the pink one, right, I think the skirt's like a suede, and then with a very, very fuzzy top. Just the mixing of textures as well creates something that's visually very appealing. So even though the outfit is all one color, there's still a lot going on there. And then with the other one, again, similar kind of colors, but we have like a chiffon tulle, and then like, I don't know like a good word for that, but I think it's like lame. Is that what I'm thinking of? I don't know. But it's just giving polyester high shine, right? Billowy, like plasticky vibes. Yeah. So I love texture in the way that it's so simple, but it can add a lot. And then when I was kind of saying with more of like a vintage look, like the tailoring, I call it kind of like that Superman, you know, where it's like broad ass shoulders and then it's tapering down into like a little Dorito chip waist. I love it. So I feel like I do kind of have broad shoulders. I don't know how much you can tell in this, but I think I do because of how I fit into women's clothing. I feel like my shoulders are broad because it is a struggle with shirts, and I also have long ass arms. So this tailoring works in my favor. So that kind of has to do with my thing as well. I love a fit, and also it is a very dramatic tailoring look, right? Because they're trying to emphasize that you're like bam and bam, as we see in my example photos here, is giving drama. It's giving drama. And would I wear that 3-piece suit in my everyday life? Yes. Yes, I would. But even just adopting something as simple as that style of jacket over, like, we're going to say jeans and a t-shirt again, okay? Even though I was talking about how I hated jeans, ignore it. But still, if I had a jacket that was kind of done in that tailoring style, that is going to be a drama piece on that outfit. And picture with the earrings and the hair. Was that hard to put together? No. But is it giving a 10 points, 10, 10? I don't even know. A 10 out of 10 wow factor? Yes. Yes, it is. And even just that style of pant, like, again, like the tapered into the flared, I think because I'm fairly tall, I can pull off a flared leg. Like, it is giving movement when I walk. And I don't feel like it would definitely look baggy on me, but baggy in a way that it's intentional. It is fitted, right? Because there is a difference between baggy because your clothes are like ill-fitting, and baggy as like an intentional, like, yes, girl, work those pants. So I just love the silhouettes they create, and I think because of my body type, they're gonna look great on me because of that. So once again, it narrows it down. Maybe I'm gonna start looking in more vintage stores or thrifting to find pieces if I'm kind of gravitating more towards that vintage look. It's gonna narrow down even where I might shop, which can be helpful. Makes it less overwhelming. Also, I do know how to sew, so I could make this. I literally have a pants pattern that I've just been staring at every day and I've done absolutely nothing with. But maybe this video will be the encouragement I need, because when we go through my closet, you're gonna understand. You're gonna be like, girl, what's going on? I don't know. I'm working with what I got, and let me tell you, it's not a lot. Vintage as well. I am a sucker for like 1970s, 1960s as well, because that mini dress stuff had going on. Big fan. I'm a big fan of it. But just with the 1970s, I love a good collar, and they were going crazy with those collars. Once again, I'm out here. I've got neck to go around, neck space, okay? And the shoulders, I have the space for that collar. So I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it. And again, that is something, a very dramatic collar is gonna zhuzh up an outfit, right? So that means the rest of the outfit doesn't have to be doing too much. I can just wear a simple pant, a nice shoe, right? And we're gonna say it again, the jewelry. And I'm wowing. And all it took was a collar. I love the boots. I'm a huge, like, I love a good chunky shoe. And also I feel like having a more vintage shoe, they just look nice. It's another like wow factor, you know, because obviously there is that something like vintage about it. They're necessarily making shoes in that style, even though we kind of did have like a 70s moment, then we hit the 90s, now we're on Y2K, right? But still, it's a classic. It's a classic look. Those boots, I'm obsessed. I don't have a pair yet, but it's on my wish list. And even the pants, the hot pants, like I said, I love a good flare on a pant. I've got a lot to work with, so like I said, just a giraffe. So flared pants go great. And then also the cuts on the shirts that I'm also looking at it here. I'm looking at it here, but you're gonna see it here. But the cuts on the shirt, I love it. Or even cuts like that. So good, so good. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I love like a good square on me, or like that halter. There is something about it that just looks good every time. And also a jumpsuit. I love jumpsuits. They kind of stress me out because of like, you go out in a jumpsuit and it's a whole shebang. Just go to the bathroom. So I wouldn't necessarily count jumpsuits in my everyday wear because of the anxiety they give me, but I do like them. And as I said, the details. These are just some examples of like very simple things that just add a little more. Is it a shirt, or is it a shirt with whatever that crisscross thing is, right? Even the cuff design. So I could just have like a very like plain trouser, but maybe I get more creative with my side stitching to add something more to it. And details like that, they're not something that would overpower an outfit. So once again, I'm still as close picking, and it's gonna work every time. It's gonna work every time. So as I kind of already said before, the next time we're going to be kind of looking at some outfits I've already put together, with referring back to the guide that I have here, and also look at the state of my wardrobe now, because it is in a state, let me tell you, this is not a nice one. But yeah, that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I hope you had a good time. You can go. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Later. See you Friday.